Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today. Sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram, he's at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. So today we're talking Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Sweet 16, and this is going to be my official review of the episode, y'all, because there's a lot of stuff going on outside the episode, but I want to talk about the episode. So the episode begins 48 hours after what happened at Kenya Moore's hair spa, event in which all HELL broke loose, and we had the infamous large poster boards putting out all of Britt EADY's alleged business, alleged slobbing on the knob and all of the things, alleged corn history and all of the things. We know that Bravo put up the message that they ceased filming with Kenya after that. The Housewives ran out in terror. They wanted no parts of it except for Drew Sidora, who was the last one standing. And we pick up with the episode of Britt EADY. She is all in the emotions of it all. She's trying to explain to her husband what happened. Her husband's kind of like, can the cameras go? Can the cameras get up out of here? Because I really don't feature these cameras. Is the look that he was giving. So Britt is also alleging the following. She is alleging that the slobbing on the knob, and this is where things get a little gray. This gets a little gray area, a little dicey. She is alleging that there was a video that she made with an ex-boyfriend while she said she was, quote, a teenager, but we do not know how old of the teenager she was. But that was a video that was made of her and an ex, allegedly slobbing on the knob. And then she also alleged that she was a cam girl in her 20s, and I guess some years ago she had got all of this allegedly scrubbed from the internet. So I don't know Kenya's means. Allegedly, she claims she got it from a private investigator. We know Ming Lee, allegedly on the social medias of it all, has alleged that she still has some images of Britt from a party that Britt would not want to see the light of day in 2025 and all of the things. But it is just a lot. It is just a lot, y'all. And again, I'm not excusing Britt with the GUN and the pistols and all of that. Per the investigation, apparently there was not anything that they had on her or this and that. But can we keep it a buck, y'all? And this is no shade to Team Twirl. This is no shade to y'all. But can we keep it a buck, as if y'all are making it seem like Kenya has never said or done or provoked anybody, hasn't done anything negative to result anybody retaliating towards her on this show, whether it was Phaedra, whether it was Porsha, whether it was Nene, or all of the things. Y'all are acting like Kenya, this is the first time Kenya is doing anything, and her being fired is just out of order. No. Like, y'all, can we keep it a buck? Can we keep it a buck? This is not her first rodeo. This is not her first incident and all of the things. I am not excusing, anything, because I feel like everybody's wrong. Everyone's wrong in this situation, but some of y'all are acting like Kenya has just been the ultimate peach on this show and has never done anything wrong, has never hit storylines from the producers, has never gotten married in secret from the producers, and all of the things, has not been a part of these alleged alliances that ultimately got Nene kicked off that one time. Like, we're just gonna pretend. And she tried getting Porsha kicked off, but the Housewives banded together to save Porsha's job and all of this and that, and she was hoping that this was going to be another attempt to get somebody else off this show. Except for Britt allegedly did the Uno reverse card on her. She did the Uno reverse on her and said, not on my watch. Now, it is alleged from, Jesse Wu and King of Reads. Again, we shout out the people that we get the information from over here. So I don't know what they're talking about people not shouting them out. I've shouted them out every time as far as when I reference the tea that, allegedly Ming Lee really is behind potentially giving Kenya these alleged receipts of Britt EADY. And also, in all of this, right, she also alleged, Jesse will allege, that part of the reason what ended up happening was Britt had some good lawyers and allegedly sued the network and allegedly got a fat coin from the network. And part of that, result of that was Kenya getting let go. That is according to Jesse Wu. Argue with Jesse Wu. Like that is what Jesse Wu is saying. She is saying that is why Britt is on the I'm Still Here tour. I'm Still Here tour. We also get into Kelly. Kelly, this was one of the clips that had dropped early where there was a few scenes with her and her daughter. They were working out. They were doing some yoga. She's upset. Kelly's upset because it's getting out to the blogs about her husband being arrested in contempt, and that's old news. He's not in jail anymore. However, he is trying to go after the kids that they have together, and basically has been MIA and a non-factor as it pertains to the oldest child, in which Kelly has from a previous relationship. And Kelly's telling her daughter, you deserve love, you deserve to get married, all the things. And Kelly's daughter's like, listen, look in here. If love and marriage is going to end up like how you ended up, no thanks. Thank you, next. Not on my watch. No. And it's kind of hurtful and kind of harmful, because I understand what she's saying, but that's kind of like a serious dig at your mom, though. Like your mom wasn't going in expecting the marriage to fail. And she seriously was not expecting her husband to turn into a wackadoo while they were married for things to lead to a divorce in the first place. So nonetheless, that was that with that scene. We get another music scene, producing scene with RL from Next, y'all, featuring Shamia, Drew, and Angela Oakley. And all of the things. Shamia, she cannot stop singing Never Had, y'all. She's going to sing the whole song in the confessionals, and the producers are going to have to deal. And in this scene, you guys, they are bringing up Porsha and Shamia again of it all. The Porsha and Shamia of it all. And Angela, I think she's still mad at Porsha about the Charles comment from their big bank, little bank event. So she's going to drag this out. And so now she's going to repurpose this and try to stir up drama between Porsha and Shamia. Shamia later reveals that she is still hurt about Porsha not recognizing her on the song Never Had. However, Shamia reveals that her and Porsha had talked this out very quickly, and Porsha had apologized. So I'm confused again why we are resurrecting this when in the episode we saw two scenes that Shamia and Porsha were in with each other. There was a scene where Porsha and Shamia were at some type of Atlanta version of Dave and Buster's, y'all. And there was also a scene with Porsha, Shamia, and Britt, Angela, and Drew, in which both of those scenes, the song, Shamia still being heard about the song, could have been brought up. But again, in Housewives fashion and dragging out, some foolishness, we're not going to get to this until I'm sure the end of the season. And it's like these were two opportunities Shamia could have brought this up. If she was really that hurt and that upset, it shouldn't have to take Angela Oakley saying something to you after the fact and you saw Porsha twice. Like I'm just confused with it all. I really am. So, nonetheless, Drew makes a messy comment about her working with Dennis and how, Porsha basically needs to be grateful because this can put food on the table for Pilar so Pilar can go to school. No. See, Drew, this is where you overstepped. This is where, some of the fans don't see it for you. Why would you make a comment like that? Why are you bringing the kids into the foolishness of it all? At least with Porsha, she is keeping it about you and Dennis. She is not mentioning, your kids or anything like that. Heck, she's not even bringing Ralph into the shenanigans of it all. So why did you do that? Why did you make that comment? That was so unnecessary. And here's the thing. Porsha has been on Housewives for a very long time. I think about a decade or so. So what was that energy? Porsha has been had tons of jobs. She's been a hustler. She's been on This Nation. She has, of course, Go Naked Hair. She has Pampered by Porsha. She has those Amazon Lives that she did. She's doing some acting. She's been in some previous movies, and she's got some upcoming projects. She was in that play with Candy. She gave her a shot at a song with Flatline in the song Flatline. But Porsha has been a hustler. The problem is, let's keep it a buck, and now she's a YouTuber. The problem with Porsha is she wants to be, living the soft life. She wants to be living the soft life, married to a billionaire, so she could just, shop all day and live the good life and spend the dinero. However, that's not reality, right? And just because you marry somebody allegedly with money, doesn't mean it's going to make you happy. Doesn't mean it's going to be a fulfilling relationship / marriage at the end of the day. There's other things that come with that when you're involved with somebody, allegedly with money. But the problem is, Simon had a whole slew of investigations and issues with the citizenship and alleged scammer allegations and all of this well before him and Porsha got involved, and she still decided, yes, I want to marry this man. So make it make sense of it all. We also, you guys, get a scene that is featuring Drew and Ralph, and it is messy. So Drew is mad at her daughter because she needs to do her daughter's hair. Drew is talking about 3 weekends out of the month she needs to be up out of this house so that Ralph can emerge from the basement. And it's just weird, because I'm like, at this point, y'all need to live in separate houses, or somebody needs to get an apartment or a condo or something, because this is crazy. So the daughter, because she saw, Drew was doing that countdown to a spanking countdown, and the daughter did not care. The daughter was like, look at the room, look at the house, look at all these people, look at the ring lights, look at the cameras, lights, camera, action. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, all the things. I'm not going, Mom. I'm not going to comply, Mom, because you're not going to spank me in front of all these people. You're not going to spank me in front of the Real Housewives of Atlanta cameras. So I'm going to play in your face, and I am not going to listen to you, because I know I have backup, and I know if you try it, if you do something, it's not going to be good for you. So that was the energy, and that was the type of time that the daughter was on, y'all. And like I said, played in the face of Drew. So while the kids are eating breakfast, and Drew's sister emerges because they're getting ready to leave and everything else for the weekend, Ralph emerges from the basement. And he's like, you need to go. It is my time with the kiddos. I don't understand why we're stalling it. And Drew's like, I'm trying to get ready. I'm trying to get everything together and all the things. And, then Drew asks, can I have some private time with your dad, right? Before I ultimately make my escape. And she's like, listen, looky here, Ralph. You need to call the exterminator, because we've got ants, we got roaches up in this house. And I don't want to call. Because, per the court order, per the agreement, you are supposed to be the one in charge. And Ralph is like, look here, like it only costs X amount of dollars for them to come out. Like, why can't you do it? And Drew's like, because you're the one paying for everything, you do it. And I was like, uh-oh. I was like, are we doing all of this? Like here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I understand the court order and everything else. But if there is something serious, like if the electricity is off, if the gas is off, if the internet is off, if there is some alleged issues where you need to call out, pest control or whatever else, and there is some problems, with the ants, with the roaches, with something that is infested in your home, are we just going to let that sit and fester because you are waiting on Ralph, who is already being petty, who is already being messy, and y'all got young kids together? Like, y'all just gonna sit there with the lights out because you're waiting on Ralph to call the electrician to pay the electric bill? Y'all just gonna sit there with no internet because you're gonna wait for Ralph in the basement to call Time Warner, call Spectrum, and put the internet back on? Y'all just gonna sit there with no heat in the cold until Ralph calls the gas company and all the things? Like, is this the energy that we're on? Is this the time that we're on? You're gonna sit here and potentially risk your house, getting foreclosed closed on. If Ralph decides he wants to be petty and go several months without paying the mortgage on the home, like how far are we taking this, Drew? At what point do we say, listen, it's not about the pettiness and the drama between me and Ralph. I need to make sure my kids' living conditions are on point. I need to make sure my kids are taken care of no matter what. And if there's roaches around the house or whatever's going on, or some type of infestation of a bee's nest or a herd of ants somewhere, like why aren't we just calling pest control and getting that nipped in the bud? And you can expense it to your lawyer for the judge to say, hey, Ralph, you're ordered to pay this. Like, why are we doing this back and forth? Because now you run out the scene and you're up here in tears and all frustrated with your sister when you know the type of dynamic that you and Ralph have. But I am confused because I thought Ralph was not allowed to come out of the basement until you left the premises. I thought y'all were not supposed to interact with each other, and we already saw a scene with y'all. So my question is this divorce for real, or is this a storyline? And I do not know the answer, but I am very sussed out because, again, why are we seeing scenes with y'all filming together if things are so contentious and y'all are not supposed to be communicating and things are supposed to be bad communication-wise to where y'all are only supposed to communicate via an app? But we see y'all in multiple scenes together communicating in person and not via an app. Like, this is why, Drew, people don't see it for you. People think you are a liar. This is why. So, and then Ralph got a confessional. Ralph got a confessional again with that shirt off, y'all, and all of the things with the shirt off, with the chain on. I don't know if he's advertising for the ladies or for the lady allegedly in Tampa. I don't know, but it's just crazy. It's just crazy out here. And then he's busy gaslighting too. And I'm like, okay. So next we have as well is, we have a scene at, I believe it was Shamia's house. She had a little get together and it was basically everybody there but Britt. It was everyone there but Britt, and they were reflecting on what happened at Kenya's event. That was when Porsha infamously said Kenya then twirled on down to HELL and Kenya made that decision and there was consequences and da-da-da-da-da. I personally think the Housewives are shook that Kenya ultimately got fired, and I think they are trying to rethink and repurpose some storylines on how they're going to continue on for the season is the vibe that I'm getting, and I think they're treating Britt differently as a result. That is just my opinion. So in this scene, Drew shows up late again. I don't understand. Drew shows up. I don't know if she's last on the call sheet or what is going on, but she cannot show up on time to save her life, y'all. She cannot show up on time for anything, and it is weird. So nonetheless, she shows up 2,000 and late. Angela wants to talk to Porsha again about the Charles Oakley comment. Now, remember on Porsha's YouTube, she said that her and Angela had went back and forth for quite some time about it, but Porsha told her right then and there she was joking. But Angela's going to keep bringing this up for a storyline to avoid talking about the alleged side baby that Charles has that Wendy Williams had confirmed. So I see exactly, what Angela is up to when it is all said and done. We are going to talk about everyone else's business but mine. And so then also there was talk about the divorce of it all. And Porsha is getting emotional because that is the scene that also preview dropped in advance from Bravo, where she was emotional because Pilar is asking about Simon, is asking about, where he's at and what he's doing and everything else. And, Porsha just basically tells her that he's away and, trying to contact him and all this and that and ask about Pilar, and Simon had left her on red. And so Portia's emotional. Kelly comes over to hug her, really pat her on the leg. Shamia comes over to hug her, and then Drew's in her feelings because she's like, well, I'm going through a divorce too, and it's a shame that Porsha and I really can't have this bonding moment because, we're not on good terms right now. And so Porsha also decided to squash the beef with Drew because, listen, she's like, your sister Heavy D, according to Porsha, is not here right now, so therefore, we're just going to squash it. I'm dealing with too much with this divorce. I can't film at the house and everything else, so we're just going to squash it for now because I just don't have time. So that was that. Even though, Drew is still throwing shade and for some reason bringing up Pilar. Then you guys, I also forgot to mention at the beginning of the episode with Britt that Kelly had brought some food over, and they brought over somebody to do like an IV treatment and everything else, I guess, to help Britt get her spirits up. And Britt really was trying to say that Kelly was the only housewife that had been there for her regarding this whole ordeal, that she really hasn't interacted with the rest of the housewives since all of this drama with Kenya has happened. And I wanted to just preface that because when we get to the end of the episode, there is what is called a priest brunch that Kelly is hosting, that Kelly is putting together, that all of the housewives were supposed to be in attendance. And it was interesting because there was no Cynthia Bailey this episode. So I found that interesting. And also, Porsha called Kelly in advance to say that she randomly is sick. And as y'all know from the previous video that I uploaded regarding Porsha and her YouTube review, I think it was strategic. I think the block was hot with all the things, and Porsha did not want to show her hand yet on whose side she was on. And I think perhaps she might have still been talking to Kenya. She perhaps may have still, allegedly, according to Porsha, was fighting for Kenya to keep her job on the show. So she did not want to be any mess or say anything on camera that was going to lead to anything. And I think she also is rethinking her storyline as well, because she did not want to get grilled about allegedly taking somebody's husband with the whole Simon of it all. So I think Porsha said, you know what? I'm sick again. Let me sound very sick, like I have a sore throat and everything else, so that I can get out of filming this, and I need to work with the producers on what my next approach is, since me and Kenya being friends this season is officially scrapped. So nonetheless, there was no Porsha. Kelly got a dig in at the end about, again, not wanting to talk about that somebody else's husband, as long as you're really sick and not with someone else's husband, sayonara. And Porsha's like, you are a messy bleep, and hung up the phone, right? So she's not there. So everyone else gets there. Angela's there, Shamia's there, and everybody is there, right? And Drew Sidor is there. And, it gets spicy because Britt shows up, and, they're having these conversations, and Britt is upset because she finds out via them all talking on what was supposed to be a priest brunch. She finds out that the housewives are all talking to Kenya Moore on the side still, that they're still talking to Kenya Moore. However, since Kenya Moore is no longer on the show, we're not going to find out, what Kenya Moore really feels, if she feels a certain type of way or anything. Like, we're not going to find out if she's remorseful, if she wants to apologize or anything. So Britt is mad because Britt is like, I'm the victim here. I am the victim. I went through all of this. Kenya's no longer on the show. Y'all are supposed to be filming with me. Y'all are supposed to be interacting in scenes with me. But y'all sitting up here calling Kenya and everything else behind my back. You got sympathy for Kenya and not sympathy for me. And I'm almost about to lose my insurance license and all this and that. And Angela Oakley's like, whoa, right? Now, as far as them talking to Kenya, that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. I think, obviously, especially with Shamia and, Drew, and of course, Porsha, they've obviously known Kenya a lot longer than these new girls. So it would make sense for them to reach out and see how Kenya is doing, especially if, if the network is making all of these mass firings and mass cuts at the drop of the hat, And so, because they couldn't bring back Sheree because of money, they couldn't bring back Candy because of money, and they got rid of Marlo, and of course, they got rid of also Sanya. So nonetheless, they were probably worried about their spots on the show, like if something's going to happen to them. And so they're trying to console Kenya, and maybe they're looking at Britt differently. Now, Britt came in with the wrong energy, though. She came in hot. She came in argumentative. She came in basically trying to cuss these women out. And they're like, we're here for a peace brunch. Like, you're not bringing the peace. You're bringing this energy. And I feel like this is the precursor as to why maybe a lot of the cast, with the exception of Porsha, is not fooling with Britt right now, because I think they feel like Britt is coming on too strong, Britt is being too aggressive, Britt is doing too much. And all of this, shenanigans, yes, Kenya's in the wrong, but why aren't you, trying to show us who you really are? And it's giving, maybe this is who you really are. You're just a mean girl too. Maybe you're just a mean girl too, since you don't have the background of having a lot of female friends, a lot of female interactions, and everything else. Like, maybe this is just who you are. So nonetheless, Britt, Angela's trying to inquire about allegedly Britt losing her insurance license and all this and that, because Britt, and this is part of the problem, is that Britt kind of twists things and puts 20 on 10. And so when Angela's trying to get questions and answers out of Britt, Britt's not receiving it. Britt's not featuring it. So at that point, Angela's like, you know what? I'm going to let you be. And she moves over to the other side of the table and sits somewhere else. And so then Shamia calmly asks Britt, okay, what is going on? And so Britt says, well, my license is under investigation because of what happened with Kenya at Kenya Spa event, and my clients are concerned and this and that. Now, Angela was like, that's what I thought, because you presented it as though your license got, you got your license revoked because of what Kenya did, but really it's quote unquote under investigation. And I work, obviously in mortgage insurance and everything else. I have a license as well. I have a real estate license as well. And you're just not willy-nilly just getting your license revoked without there being an investigation, without them doing a review. And that was what I thought. You tried to come in here and made it seem like you lost your license, and that was not the case. Now, I'm still trying to figure out if there was ever really an investigation to begin with, because I feel like, again, this is another attempt at Britt trying to force her way into people liking her by her saying something dramatic and over the top so that it forces everybody to be on her side. And I feel like this is not a good strategy on Britt's part, because you need to just be yourself. You need to just be yourself and be humble, be a good person, treat all of these ladies with respect and everything else. But the energy that you're coming off on, this is why they're all in contact with Kenya, because you're doing way too much. So there's still a lot of tension. There's still a lot of issues and everything else. And Angela's at the point where it's like, if this is how this is going to be, I'm going to get up out of here. So then Shamia's like, no. This is a peace brunch. Like, let's all dance. Let's dance it out. And at the end, they decided to do the electric slide, y'all. And so the preview for the next episode, y'all. They are apparently going to Nashville for Porsha's birthday, y'all. They are going to Nashville for Porsha's birthday, but there is some drama because Drew Sidora was not invited. But Angela, of course, was going to bring Drew Sidora anyways, and there is drama because of it. So there is that. And Porsha is in the previews basically saying, listen, this is my birthday. It's all about me. I invited who I wanted to, and you bring somebody that I did not invite. So there's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again.